Hello world, this is Ben for AnyLogic 101, a quick video series where I explain very quick tips and tricks about AnyLogic. And in this video I want to talk about a very dangerous pitfall when it comes to loading data from your AnyLogic database. And that is caching versus non-caching. Let's get started. So typically when you have a database table like this, very simple data, normally when you do something with it, you use SQL queries like select from this table 1, where the ID in the ID column is equal to 0 and give me the first result in the name column. If I click this button, the trace line will print Ben because that's what it finds under ID 0. It's all nice and well, and that's how it should be. I click the button and we see Ben. Beautiful. Now, sometimes in your models you actually change the database data. So in this button what I'm doing is I'm going into my table 1 and I actually update the cell that we've just spoken about. So I say in the in the table where the ID is 0, set the cell my name equal to Elon. I'm going to buy a Tesla soon, so seems appropriate. Now, this actually replaces this cell with the string Elon. Now, let's see what that's doing. So we've already clicked the load cached one. We see this loads Ben. If I replace the entry, it doesn't actually show here yet. And if I then click load cached again, it's still printing Ben. And that is because the normal SQL statements always load your cached database. When your model starts the very first time, AnyLogic actually loads all the data in all tables and caches it for very, very quick and rapid access during model execution. So when I call this statement, it loads the cached data. If during runtime I change data and then call cached data, it is still the old cached data, not the new one. But every SQL loading function actually allows you to load the non-cache data, and this is how you do it. You basically say the same thing, select from this table where the ID is equal to 0, give me the first result, but this time we're not only specifying from which column to return the value, but an additional first argument, a Boolean one, and we set this to false. And if we look into the code complete for this first results function, we can see we can either just give it one argument, which is the column to get it from, but there are these other methods where we have two arguments, and the first one is this Boolean cached. By default it's true, we don't even use it, but if we want non-cached data because it has changed, we set this to false. So if I click non-cached, it actually loads Elon now, although this isn't even visible in this table because it was only changed at runtime. Here at design time, you can make it visible actually by right-clicking and saying refresh, and then it actually reloads the data and it finds, oh yeah, you have changed this to Elon. But even now, if I click at runtime and to load the cached stuff, it still prints me Ben, and only the non-cached version gives me back Elon. So be careful. The simple heuristic is 99% of the cases you can just use the standard SQL stuff, the kind of code that you get when you use the database query wizard. That's all fine. But in this wizard, it does not allow you to select loading non-cached stuff. So you have to write this manually or adjust it manually. And you only do that when you know that you have changed the data somewhere. Either the user has changed it at runtime or you've loaded new data at runtime. Then you load non-cached data. It's a little bit slower, so be careful. And that's it. I hope that was helpful. Thanks a lot.